So I cannot even fathom how many times I've said this to people and myself. It doesn't matter what they think, it matters what you think. It doesn't matter what anyone thinks, it matters what you think. It's actually none of your business what other people think, because you can't control it. You can control how you think. A lot of times we care about what other people think because we want to win their approval. If you're somebody that has grown up and you feel your childhood, during your childhood, you felt unworthy and undeserving, you're going to probably approval seek. And this really comes out a lot in relationships, like romantic relationships especially, but it can even come out in your job. People will overdo everything ad nauseum because they want to seek that approval. It even shows up with people who are perfectionists. It's got to be perfect because you're not going to win someone's approval unless you do. And it's your approval because you're so desperate. Because it's got to be the best. It's got to be the best. It's really coming because you want to win someone else's approval. I see this a lot all the time, but when it really comes to relationships, I see this. We want to become, I call it the Trojan horse in my book. We want to become what that person wants us to become, because if we do, then they're going to love us. And we want that love. So during this, and I remember this lesson. Here's a big lesson. Well, I would say it was my lesson. It was huge. So one of my things growing up in a young adulthood was trying to always seek somebody's approval in a relationship. And if I didn't, put it this way, I was so busy trying to gain their love, I would push them away. I would also attract people that weren't so great because I didn't think I was great. I was damaged goods. So guess what I attracted? Relationships are your mirror that reflect back to you what it is you need to heal. And then somebody would leave, surprise, surprise. And to me, it was like a death. And I'm going to talk more about that in a program that I'm doing. It's off my book. And they would leave, and it was like a death to me. And I would become so depressed, I would attempt suicide and was in the hospital a few times. I just couldn't take it. It's from my background. And I was always worried about what did they think, even like I'm never going to find anybody like this again, never. And I remember my dad, he used to get so mad at me. He would say, of course you're going to find somebody again. But I guess I used to say it so often. My dad was a little short-tempered. He wasn't so empathetic when it came to this stuff. But I probably got sick of it over and over and over again, watching his daughter fall apart. He got scared too. My mom was a little easier on it because she understood it. She had the same story. So during this time when I wasn't feeling well, I'll say the last 3 years, I can remember a specific time. There's been a few, but the big one I remember. I was laying in my bed and I wasn't feeling good. I wasn't feeling good. And this is probably maybe a year and a half after this happened to me. And I'm telling you, I wasn't feeling good. It's taken me 3 years and I'm still struggling. I'm better than I was, but I'm telling you, I really wasn't doing well. This was really a rough patch in my life. And I was laying there thinking, I don't feel good. And someone in my family wanted to go do something. And I couldn't. I physically couldn't. If I got up, I was going to start throwing up. And I know this has been going on for a year and a half, but I don't feel good. And I have better days than some. Some are better than the other. But it wasn't a good one. And the person basically called me lazy and said I didn't deserve to live here. Well, of course, my instant reaction was, I got to get up. No matter how horrible I'm going to feel, I got to get up, because if I don't, they're not going to love me anymore. They're not going to approve of me. And this person was only saying this because this person was upset because they're tired of being alone and never doing anything with me. And I always say, people that get upset at us, that are injured, have compassion for them. You get upset, but have compassion for them, because you know what? They're doing it because they don't understand what it's like to feel so terribly for so long. And thank God they can't. I say that to people. I say, thank God you don't know how I'm feeling. I wouldn't wish this on my enemy, that or depression. Because you know what? If you were in my shoes for one day, you'd be running back to who you are now. And I am grateful that they don't have to experience this. So yes, they're upset and they're going to be mean sometimes. And no, it's not right. But you know, caregivers don't get the credit they should, because these caregivers have to deal with this on and on and on and on, sometimes for a very long time. And you know what? They get tired too. So give them a break. Give them a break. Now, they shouldn't be mean to you all the time. That's where I draw the line. But sometimes it's going to happen. So give them a break. But anyway, so when this other person said this to me, I remember thinking, I'm going to have to get up. And I couldn't do it. And then all of a sudden, and this stuff happens to me quickly, thank goodness, but all of a sudden it was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Wait a minute, Rochelle. You can't get up. You need to take care of yourself. Shocker, because I never really did take care of myself. I've been a workaholic my whole life. Lived in the streets for a while, not literally, but I wasn't thrown out of my house. I left because of a situation. And I had to learn to take care of myself. There was another lesson in this whole ordeal. Rochelle, you got to learn to take care of yourself. Love yourself unconditionally and stop trying to take care of everybody else because you're afraid if you don't, they're going to leave. What about me? And it's funny to even say that because I've never thought of it before. And when I do, I feel selfish, especially when somebody's telling me I'm selfish and I don't deserve to live here and I'm lazy because I want to prove I'm not, because I'm afraid they might leave me. They may not love me anymore. Well, that's when I said, Rochelle, it doesn't matter what they think. It matters what you think. And I cannot even attempt to express to you how hard this was for me to do. I had to, again, say it doesn't matter what they think. It matters what I think. And right now, I can't. It's not that I don't want to. I physically can't. And if somebody's going to not want to be with me or not like me or not love me because this is how I am right now, then I have to understand that, because it's time that I take care of myself. I can't keep doing things that people want me to do or try to prove I'm good enough because, I almost used a bad word. I'm not a bad person. I am not damaged goods. I had brain surgery, a serious one. I'm lucky to be alive. It doesn't matter what they think. It matters what you think. Remember that. I've had other people want to do things with me, and I can't. And I start feeling guilty. Like, oh my God, I'm missing time. My life is going by too fast. 3 years is a long time to lose in your life. I've thought about a lot of people are gone on vacations. They're having fun. They're doing all these things. And I'm sitting here in prison. But the truth is, it's where I want to be because I feel safe here. Because things aren't moving around. There's not all this noise. I feel very safe. Very, very safe. I got to get out because I have to. But I do feel safe at home. Another problem in itself that I've had to deal with, and I've dealt with it. It never really became a big problem. It was something I was always aware of. But I had to go through this. I'm feeling guilty because I can't do things. My life is passing me by. A little anger and a little resentment. Why do you get to do this and I don't? Not really anger. Yeah, a little anger and resentment. But I had to go back to, it's not my time right now. Before I know it, this is going to be over, and I'm going to look back at this 3 years and say, hey, you must have needed to learn a lesson, because 3 years is a long time to learn one. It's pretty serious. Unfortunately, it's going to be longer. I'm not being negative. I'm just stating the truth, and that's okay. I've accepted it. I'll get through it. And God forbid I don't. I'll just have to learn to live this way. It's part of my curriculum. But the good news is they say I'm going to get through it. So good. But man, that guilt was hard. And then I realized, again, doesn't matter what they think. It matters what you think. Right now, I am feeling guilty. They don't understand. I can say to them, I'm so sorry. I want to go. I'm not lazy. I'm not milking the situation. I can't. And if they're still mad at me and they don't understand, then I'm going to have compassion because they don't know how to understand. And then I'm going to say, Rochelle, you don't need to feel guilty about this because you're doing what you know is true. And if they can't accept it, that's okay. It doesn't matter what they think. It matters what you think. If you're in a difficult relationship and the person keeps telling you you're all these things that you're not, don't buy into it. Maybe you grew up being told you were this terrible person, and now you've attracted somebody that says you're a terrible person. You were just a young child that was in this situation, and obviously you have a few lessons to learn in this lifetime. Well, I'll tell you one right now. Nobody gets to talk to you that way. You need to respect yourself. My dad would say, if you can't believe in yourself, if you can't respect yourself, no one else is going to. It doesn't matter what they think. If no matter what you do and explain to them, they still think you're this terrible person, then if I were you, I'd walk away. That's their problem. It's not yours. If someone thinks that I had someone leave me over 5 pounds, trust me, I'm a thin person. I didn't, so what if I gained 5 pounds? I still looked thin. And I was sitting on their lap. They threw me off the chair and left. Well, back then I freaked out and I lost my weight. It was only 5 pounds. I didn't need to lose weight. Guess what? That was his problem. That wasn't my problem. It had nothing to do with me. I looked fine. And even if I needed to lose 20 pounds or 30 pounds, I'm still a nice person who will love you and be loyal and kind. But see, you have to learn to love yourself. You have to make everything okay with you and be strong and confident. That's what sells. Confidence is what sells. You can be 50 pounds overweight and date the most beautiful person you've ever seen. If you're confident, that's what real people, are looking for. And when you're confident within yourself and you really believe in yourself and you're true to yourself, you're not taking the easy way out. You're confronting your demons head on. I always say, pretend you're in a big cave and you've got all these monsters and you want to push them away because you don't want them to come in. Oh, no, we're going to run. We don't want to confront anything. Well, what we really need to do is invite those monsters to come into our cave and invite them for a cup of tea. There are subpersonalities. Make friends with them. Why are they there? Don't be afraid. That's how you're going to heal your wounds and become confident. That's how you're going to learn to say, it doesn't matter what they think. It matters what I think. Somebody can look at me and say horrible things about me. Some of them, maybe I don't look so great. Okay, I don't look great. Maybe there's some constructive criticism I need to listen to. Thank you, spiritual teacher, for coming in. Everything's a spiritual teacher, everyone, even animals. Thank you. Because now I'm going to think about this and say, oh, Rochelle, maybe at times you are too judgmental. And I don't like judgment. I don't like it at all. My husband calls me on it sometimes because we're all human. We do it. But believe me, I stop and think about it and then I don't do it again. And if he catches me again, I think twice. Because none of us are perfect. So when this happened to me about being called names, it was really rough. It really hit me because my instincts were to go fight for approval. I don't want you not to like me or love me. But what I did is I stood up for myself. And I think this is the first time, I hate to say this, in a lifetime that I really did it because I haven't faced that challenge for a long time. If I were to gain 10 pounds, my husband would say, just go buy another pair of pants. As long, I don't think he'd want me to gain 10,000 pounds because it would be bad for my health. But he loves me. He doesn't care. It's not a big deal, which is very different than the people I'm used to dating. Thank God I don't have to do that anymore. But I wouldn't tolerate it. I'd tell you to don't let the door slap you on the ass on the way out. But it was really a lesson that hit me really hard. And it's when I finally learned it doesn't matter what they think. It matters what I think. And I hope you really listen to this, because the sooner you learn to stop seeking approval and to really love yourself and not worry about what other people think, the sooner you're going to find peace. Big, big lesson. And I've had to learn that a lot. When people are seeing me at the grocery store with the cane, I was horrified because I look like an invalid. You know what? A lot of them, most of them were saying, all of them were saying, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And I hated it. And now what I do is say thank you, because they're just being kind and compassionate. It doesn't matter what they think, even if they think, oh, who's this stupid invalid walking down the hallway? So what? I know the truth. I know what happened to me. I don't have to explain it. I don't have to explain anything to anybody. I know what happened. One other thing actually I was thinking is that when I would walk with my cane, or people would look at me, most of them being very nice, a couple weren't. But I always thought everybody was looking at me like I'm an invalid. Who is this person? Your outer reality is a perception of your inner reality, because I thought everybody was looking at me thinking I'm this terrible person. I mean, because it was because I felt that I was an invalid and a terrible person. But I had to learn that I'm not. And that's when I realized these people were just saying, it's okay, excuse me. And that's when I had to learn to say thank you and be grateful that there are kind and empathetic people out there that are lovely to somebody they see walking with a cane and kind of having balance issues. And I had to learn not to judge myself, because things happen and there's nothing you can do about it. You're still the same person. You're still worthy. You're still deserving. It is what it is. It doesn't matter what they think. It matters what you think. Know your truth, and that will get you through your life.